that cycloid is a curve that is generated by a point on the circumference of the circle, and the circle rolls on the straight line and without slipping. How to draw cycloid? In order to draw cycloid, first we'll draw a circle of given diameter. Then we'll divide the circle into 4 parts. How will you divide the circle into 4 parts? We know the quadrant points. This and this are the quadrant, and there are 4 quadrants. So we'll draw horizontal line by keeping a scale. Then we'll draw vertical line by keeping the scale. And then I told you we can use compass to divide the circle into 12 equal parts. We can divide it into 8 equal parts, but dividing it into 12 equal parts will give us the benefit of drawing the curves, taking the curve to the close points. So how to do that? I told there are 4 quadrants. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Every time we'll keep the compass on the 4 quadrants and draw arc on either side of the quadrant. So if I keep it here, I will draw here and here 2 arcs. When I keep it here, I will draw here and here 2 arcs. When I keep the one leg of compass on this quadrant, I can draw here and here 2 arcs. And similarly, when I keep it here, I keep one leg of the compass here, I can draw 1 arc here and 1 arc here. So this will give us 8 points, and these 4 points already there are on which are there on the screen. So 8 plus 4 are 12 points. So let's see this procedure here. Okay, we got 1 arc, and when we get an arc, see, this is 1 arc, okay, that we have got. Now this arc will pass through the center point, and then it will join this arc. Now where from we will get this arc? We'll get when we keep the compass here, we'll get this arc. So if you are perfect enough, then you do not have to wait for getting this arc. You can join this line to the center and then extend it like this. Then keep it here, and then keep it here, and then keep it here like this. Okay, the next thing is to draw a line, straight line. Why are we drawing a straight line? And why have we drawn the circle? We have drawn the circle because we have to draw cycloid. And cycloid of what? Cycloid of circle. And why are we drawing straight line? We are drawing straight line because the circle is rolling on the straight line. This is the curve. Circle is rolling on the straight line. That's why we have to draw straight line. Of what length? No, why 141.3? Because it is equal to pi d. What is pi d? Circumference. Why circumference? Because we have to trace a curve for one complete rotation of the circle. Okay, then we'll mark the points as 1, 2, 3, and so on. Why will we choose this as 1 point? Because this circle is rolling in clockwise direction and moving forward towards the right of the screen. That's why this is the point that is going to touch the line after this point. So if this is now the point which is touching the circle, which is touching the line, next is this 1 point will touch, then 2 point will touch, and so on. That's why we have numbered it like this. Even if you number from here, if you give 1 here, 2 here, then also it's not wrong, but then this will help you to understand clearly. Okay, this is 1, so we have to start from 1. So we will draw number the points like this. Then what will we do? We have to divide this vertical line. Why we have to divide the vertical line? I will tell you in a moment. Because we have to mark the position of the circle. Which position of the circle? Now which point is touching the circle line? Point number 12 is touching. Now next time point number 1 will touch. So when point number 1 will touch, where this point, now this is the point where there is a at this point 12 there is a point P, and that P is rolling on the circle, rolling on the straight line. So when this point 1 touches the ground line, where this point P will be, for that purpose we have to divide this into 12 parts. So how will we divide that? We know the procedure to divide a line. Draw arcs like this and then join lines, and then you will get 12 equal points. Okay, so I just now told you about the position of this point P. This is point P. Now when 1 touches the line, this circle has rotated in clockwise direction as well as it has moved forward. So that point P, which was earlier here at 12, is now shifted to this point. Okay, now when that point 2 touches the ground, that time that point P moves at this location, and so on and so on. So it keeps on moving. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so you do not have to draw this circle all the time. You have to draw one circle only. I have drawn this circle just for your understanding that how these points are plotted. Okay. Next, what will we do? Next, now this we can see the movement of the point. We can see the movement of the point, but then it has to be drawn on the graph. It has to be drawn on the paper with the help of a curve. So in order to draw that, what will we do? We will draw horizontal lines like this. Now a line which is starting from 11 should intersect 1. Line which is starting from 11 should intersect 1. Line which is starting from 10 should intersect 2. Also note that all these lines which I am drawing are light and thin line, because these, no, see, circle is needed, but do we need these lines in the circle? No, this is not the part. ये है ही नहीं, ऐसा कुछ रहता ही नहीं है. There is nothing like that. We have created this. Okay, what you can see a circle, you can see a line, and you can finally see the curve. So all other lines will be light and thin lines. Now somewhere you can see I have used green color. Green color I have used because I wanted to show that the line is light. Okay, that's why. That's the only reason. So when you will be drawing, you will be using this light lines like this. Then from 3, 4, 5, and 6, we have drawn all the lines. Next, what will we do? We now need the center point. Why we need the center point? Because see, if this is the center, where is P? P is here. Now when the circle will roll and this point 1 will touch this 1 dash, that time center will be here and the point would have been moved like this. So that's why we need the center point. So what are we doing now? From each point 1 dash to 12 dash, we are drawing vertical lines and we are naming it as C1, that is center for point number 1, center for point number 2, point number 3, and so on. Okay, now with C1 as center, you can read here, and radius is equal to radius of circle. So in the entire process now of drawing the or obtaining the points, I am not going to change the radius of the circle. Radius remains the same. Center is C1. Now what are we going to do? We are going to cut an arc on horizontal line passing through 1. So this is the line passing through 1. Okay, notice this line passing through 1. With this, on this line, with C1 as center and the radius is equal to radius of circle. Why radius of circle? Because where is the point? Point is on the circumference, and from center to circumference equal to radius. So radius. So when I keep the compass here and with distance equal to radius of circle in the compass, I can get this arc here. Fine. Same thing I will repeat for all the 12 points. Now I am going to keep my compass on C2. Okay, and where will I cut an arc? On line passing through 2. And what will be the radius? Radius equal to radius of circle. Now another thing, understand that when you keep the compass here, you can draw arc on this side as well as on this side. Okay, if you keep the compass, leg of compass here, it can draw a circle like this, a circle like this. So out of that circle, the arc intersects line 1 here as well as somewhere here. So we are intelligent enough to understand that this point P1 will not come here, It is going to come यहाँ से यहाँ तक ही move होगा. It will just move from this point to this point and not here. So from here we will draw arc here only and not here. That is to be understood. Then with C2 as center, draw an arc on line passing through 2. With C3 as center, this thing. With C4 as center, C5 as center, C6 as center. Now notice one thing, understand one thing here, that what I have drawn here is not true the scale. It's not true the scale. Okay, it is all, everything is approximate. For example, if you notice this point, this distance, okay, when I am keeping on C3, I get an arc, this P3. Now this, what does this mean? This means from here to here is radius, and this also means that from here to here is radius. Okay, here to here is radius and this here to here is radius, but it is not true because I have drawn this approximately. It may move slightly near this 3. Okay, so you will be drawing exactly with the help of compass, so you will get correct points. P5, P6, P7, P8, Now understand one more thing, that when you are moving from P6 to P12, P6 to P12, okay, that time all your arcs will be on the right hand side. On your right hand side, when you are using compass and drawing arcs will be drawn on right hand side. And when you are moving from this point 12 to P6, all your arcs will be drawn on the left hand side, your left hand side, or say left hand side of this point 6. So when you use compass, either it will be left hand side compass or right hand side compass. Okay, so you will be cutting the arcs on the right hand side. So P7, see, if I keep it here, this is right hand side and this I will get left hand side. Okay, left hand side of 7 and right hand side of C7. So will I be interested in this point? No, I will not be interested, because the arc is not going to pass something like this. It is going to move like this here. Okay, so P7, P8, P9, P10, P11 and P12. Now when your students are drawing your P11 point, what are the problems that may come? See, these two lines, you can see they are parallel. When you are drawing, your lines will not be parallel. I'm not telling to those students who are not getting it perfect. I'm talking about those students who make mistake. So these two lines are generally not parallel in your case. And then this point P11 comes almost here. And then you get confused, sir, point P11 कहाँ पे चला गया? कहीं नहीं चला गया, तुमने lines parallel draw नहीं किया, इसलिए ऐसे हो गया. Okay, so if you draw it perfectly, if you divide this correctly, okay, each and everything, if there is a error, if there is an error in this, then there will be error in this. That error will be reflected in C1 to C12, and the same thing will be reflected in P1 to P12. Okay, so if you make error of 0.1 of 1 mm anywhere, that will be reflected everywhere. Okay, everywhere, and then you will end up getting some wrong curve or incorrect curve. Okay, so you have to be correct while drawing this. Okay, now we got all the 12 points, and when we draw an arc passing through all the 12 points, you will get a curve like this, and this curve is called as cycloid. Now notice one thing, if you have textbook or if you can find it on internet, this curve is not like this, it is actually like this. It is like this. So I told you that since I have drawn it approximately, so you can look it, you can see it is something like this. So the curve that will come slightly like this. Okay, it will come slightly. Okay, not like that. Something like this. Okay, not much difference than this, but these points you can see, these points I have written here, so they will be like this. So when you will draw, you will come to know. Now how will you join these points? When you get the points like this, suppose you got a point C6 somewhere here, C7 here, C8 here. Now how will you join this? In order to join this, you will use French curve. The French curve is something like this. It's something like this. Okay, not drawn it correctly. Okay, something like this. Then what will you do? See, in order to join this point with this point, you will keep the French curve. Now see which portion of the French curve connects these 2 points. So suppose this portion of the French curve is connecting these 2 points. So you will keep it like this. The French curve, you will keep it like this, and then you will try to join these 2 points. Now for these 2 points, see then which portion of the French curve is joining these 2 points. So you will get points like this. So this way you will join 2 points at a time, and you will get a curve. Now when you are doing this, your curve will look something like this. This is 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, and 11 to 12. So you can see it is not a smooth curve. So why this will happen? This will happen because you have not ever used French curve. So if you start using it, Next time you will try to adjust the curve in such a way that you will get a smooth curve, something like this. So you can see this is a smooth curve. I have drawn it freehand, but there are no something like this. Okay, this is not deserved. Your curve should look something like this. This is called a smooth curve. Smooth curve. Smooth मतलब ये ऐसे portion नहीं मिलेगा. You will not get something like this. Okay, so this will come by practice. You have to do it quite number of times so that this will be clear to you. So this is finally what you will get. After you complete it, what are the things that you have to write? You have to write number one, this name. This should be dark. This you can see is dark. This should be dark. Then this curve should be dark. Then this line should be dark. And the points, naming of the point should be dark. And this should be dark. The dimension. Now, you can see I have written here cycloid. So for writing cycloid, I have used this type of line. This line is called as leader line. Leader line. And what is a leader line? It is a line which is drawn at 45 degree, 60 degree generally, and it is a line like this, and then there is a horizontal line, and arrow is given towards what is to be indicated. Like I want to indicate this curve, so arrow is given towards the curve, and on this horizontal line we will write like this: CYCLOID. So this line, this angle is 45 degree. Now you will say, sir, every time how will we measure the angle? Now you can see I have drawn a line of 45 degree. I have not measured it. I have drawn it freehand. Okay, so it may not be 45 degree. It may be 44 degree or 42 degree, something like that. So that is okay. We are not going to use the protector here to measure whether it is 45 or not, but it should be roughly 45. I will not say this is 45 degree. Sorry, I will not say this is 45 degree. This is close to 90. Okay, so I will not say this is 45 degree. But if I draw it somewhere here, then anyone can understand that this angle is around 45 degree. So this line is called as leader line. So this line is used to show notes or mark or draw or write dimensions. Sometimes if you have to write dimension like for this circle, so what will you do? Like this, and phi, I don't remember the diameter. I am just writing for understanding purpose. 535. Okay, so this is dimension. Now, what do this phi indicates? Phi indicates diameter. Phi indicates diameter. Okay. Now, another thing. This circle, either you can dimension it like this or you can dimension it like this. Take it here. So I will draw it on the separate I don't have blank picture. I will draw it here. Now suppose I want to dimension it. So what I will do is I will take these two lines which are called as extension line, and then this is my dimension line, and I will write 35 here. And since this is diameter, so I will write 535. Now notice, no, you know this is extension line, this is dimension line. Extension line, this is dimension line. 535. Notice the way I have written it. You may, I have not written it like this. When I am writing it, I have not written it 535. Okay, why? Because the dimension should always be placed above the line. See, dimension should always be placed above the line. Above the line. Now, when is this above the line? If the line is horizontal. And if the line is vertical, then also it should be placed above the line. Then what I will write? How I will write? I will write 535. Now, how this is above the line? Because if it is a vertical dimension, rather if it is written in this style, we are viewing it from this side, and this is which side? Right side. Right side. Okay, quite often what happens is a dimension like this is given, say something like this, and something like this is written. Now we get confused whether it is 6 or 9, whether it is 6 or 9. So as per international standard, you have to view it from the right hand side. Okay, and the person who is writing it should also know that it has to be viewed from right hand side. Then this is 6. Okay, if you view it from this direction, which is not correct, then it is 9 and the dimension is not correct. So if it is vertical line and if you are writing the dimension above the vertical line, then you are viewing it from the right hand side. Another thing that you have to remember here is this arrow. Arrow should be closed and filled. So what is open arrow? Open arrow is this. Open arrow is this. This is the open arrow. This is the closed arrow. And this should not only be closed, it should also be filled. So how will we fill it? So we'll fill it like this. We'll fill it like this. So when you are drawing it on the paper, it will not be that big to fill it like this. Now another thing to be remembered about arrow is this distance to this distance. If this is 1 mm, this should be 3 mm. So the ratio is 1 is to 3. If this is 2 mm, this should be 6 mm. 6 mm. Okay, so ratio is 1 is to 3. 1 is to 3. Now again a question from your end, sir. हर बार वो draw करेंगे तो गिनेंगे क्या draw करना है arrow कितना है तो नहीं. No need to do that. You draw arrow of 1 by 3. You draw it like this. So when you will draw it on the book, it will be something like this. Remember this dimension. Remember this size. Okay, if you do it quite number of times, you will remember this size. Then you will not draw this size arrow, or you will not draw this size arrow. Okay, if this size arrow is not visible, this is too big, so this is the arrow which is to be drawn, and then from the middle of this you will draw a vertical line, and then again arrow at this end, something like this. So I told you I have to tell you about dimensions also. So meanwhile, somewhere whenever it comes, I am telling you about dimensions. So last lecture also I told you something about dimension. Here also I told you something about dimensions. Any doubt to anyone in the cycloid and whatever I have told you today? Yes, students, any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, good. So this cycloid is completed now. There is one part of this question that draw tangent and normal to the cycloid. Draw tangent and normal to the cycloid. Okay, so that I will tell you now. That I have not included in the PowerPoint. Okay, now the next point here is to draw tangent and normal to the curve. Now this is not included. That's why what I am doing is I am drawing the curve here, and then I will draw tangent and normal to the curve. So this is approximate curve. This should join here. Approximate curve. Now to draw tangent and normal. To draw tangent and normal. Now suppose I want to draw tangent and normal to the curve at this point. Which is the point? For example, see this point. Okay, I want to draw tangent and normal to the curve at this point. So how will I draw? Okay, this point will be known to me, given to me. This can be given in a way like this. So draw a tangent and normal to the curve at a distance of. So I am writing say 35. So question given will be like this: draw tangent and normal to the curve at a distance of 35 mm from the what is this called as? What is this called as? This is called as directing line. अरे ये डायरेक्ट कर रहा है ना, यही तो बोल रहा है ऐसे ऐसे घुमाओ, यहाँ से घुमाओ, तो ये क्या हो गया? डायरेक्टर हो गया. डायरेक्टर हो गया तो ये डायरेक्टर ही बोलता है ना ये काम करो, तो ये डायरेक्टर हो गया. डायरेक्टर, अभी ये लाइन है तो इसको डायरेक्टर लाइन बोलेंगे. सो इट इज स्लाइटली मॉडिफाइड, डायरेक्टर वर्ड चेंज करके उसको डायरेक्टिंग लाइन बोल दिया हमने, हो गया. नाउ in order to draw tangent and normal, what will we do? We will take radius equal to radius of the circle and draw an arc on this line. Which is this line? Center ka line. Okay, then this line will draw like this. I am repeating. Step 1 is to obtain the point. Step 2 is to get the position of arc. Step 3 is to extend it to the baseline. Step 4 is to draw a line passing through 3 and 1, and that now we got the tangent and normal. So this line is now tangent. Okay, so this is normal and this is tangent. So this line is called as tangent, and this line is what? Normal to the curve. You can use leader line to write tangent and normal. I have already told you what is a leader line. Okay, you can use leader line to write tangent and normal. Now the question here is you have to draw tangent and normal to the curve. Okay, now where will we draw tangent and normal to the curve? If nothing is mentioned in the question, you can select any point on the curve. Select any point on the curve. But here what I have done, I have mentioned that you have to draw tangent and normal to the curve at a distance of 35 mm, at a distance of 35 mm. From where? From this horizontal line. What is this horizontal line called? Directing line. So draw tangent and normal to the curve at a distance of 35 mm from the directing line. So what I will do is I will mark a distance of 35 mm and draw a line like this, and it intersects the curve at this point. So how much is this distance now? 35. No. So this is the first step to obtain point number 1. Point number 1 matlab it is that point where we have to draw the tangent and normal. Now point number 2 is with the radius is equal to radius of circle, draw an arc. Now where will we draw an arc? We will draw an arc on the center line. Okay, so यहाँ पे एक arc draw किया. That is point number 2. No, you don't have to mark points like this. This I am just telling for your reference. कैसे आया, steps कैसे आया. Then from this point, draw a vertical line on the directing line. That is point number 3. Now join this point number 3 to point number 1 and extend it. Point 3 to point 1 and extend it. That is the normal. And then a line perpendicular to this normal is called as tangent. Okay. Now the next curve here is involute. Again, involute is a curve which is used as a gear tooth profile. Okay, there are other applications also. I am giving only one application. Like cycloid, involute is also used for making the gear tooth profile. So we will see involute. Actually, I have not changed this definition. Okay, what is involute? Involute, it is a curve which is generated by a point. Okay, the point is at the end of the point is on the end of the line, and the line is rolling on the circle. Point is on the end of the line. So if I draw a line like this, there is a circle like this, and there is a line. Okay, this point is on the end of the line, and this line is revolving on the circle. Means now this is the line. After some time, this line will be like this. After some time, the line will be like this. I better draw it again. So this is not correct. It's the old. I have not changed it. See, for example, this is the line. Okay, this is the point. After some time, what will happen? This line will rotate like this here. Then what will happen? This line will rotate like this. And where is the point? Point is on the end of the line here. Here. So this is the point P. And this line is rolling on the circle. Without slipping. So this curve which is traced is called as involute. Okay. And the point is also moving on the line. So that curve is called as involute. So we'll see how to draw involute. Again, now I will go fast because most of the things are known to you. Construct an involute of circle of diameter 25 mm. कभी कभी 25 mm sketchbook के size से ज़्यादा हो जाएगा तो you can take it as 20 mm. Now we are doing it in rough. Draw a circle. Divide it into 12 equal parts. Okay. जहाँ पे भी डाउट है पूछो मुझे. I am going fast now because already it's told to you. Then draw a horizontal line. This is the line, and point P is here. At the end of this line. This is position of point P. Now, what will we do? We'll number the circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 11, 12. Then we'll divide the line like this. All of you know how to divide the line. And we will number the line. We will number the line as So this point will be 1 dash, as we did exactly as we did it in the cycloid sum. 6 dash, 7 dash, 8 dash, 9 dash, 10 dash, 11 dash, and 12 dash. Okay, so finally after a complete rotation, this circle will come here like this. Come here like this. Now, what will we do? Next step. Now there is a difference between cycloid and involute, and the procedure also different from hereafter. Now, from point one, what will we draw? We will draw a line. Okay, we'll draw a line of what length? Any length. Now you will say any length मतलब कितना? So I will tell you. Hold on. Any length. अभी मैं any length बोलता हूँ. I will clarify it. This ये any length कितना होगा? Then from point 2, again I will draw a tangent line. Okay. Then point 3, I will draw a tangent line. Can you see this tangent lines I am drawing? Point 4 से tangent, point 5 से tangent. Like this, point 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 से tangent lines draw कर दिया. So you can see each line here is tangent. Each line here is tangent. So this angle is how much? 90 degree. This is 90 degree. This is 90 degree. This is 90 degree. This is 90 degree, and so on. What we have done? We have drawn like this, and then from every point on the circle we are drawing a line, and that line is tangent to the radius of the circle. Now since this is tangent, means this angle is 90 degree. We have studied in maths standard 10. This angle is 90 degree. Now that is done. So we have drawn all the tangent lines. That is done. Now what is the next step? After drawing all this tangent line, what is the next step? Now you will ask me, sir, what is the length of this line? So students, understand that every time the length of line is reducing by this much distance. What is this distance? By this distance. Every time the length is reducing by this distance. So this is equal to this. Okay, all these distances are equal. So every time it is reducing by this distance. It is reducing by this distance. So this is what? This is pi d. This is pi d. Okay, this is pi d. So this will be what? This will be pi d minus I don't know how much is this distance. Okay, हमको पता नहीं ना, ये तो हमने measure नहीं किया. Minus this distance. Now see, I'm taking this distance 4 dash 5 dash minus 4 dash to 5 dash. Okay, now instead I could have taken 6 dash 7 dash or 7 dash 8 dash. All these distances are equal. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the length of this line. Okay, but you remember that if pi d is suppose 172, then this distance you can take it as 165. अगर point नहीं आया, point बाहर जा रहा है, तो extend कर देना line. Okay, we can find how much is this distance, but that is not important. That's why I am not telling you to find what should be the length of this line. So you draw a line tangent to this, tangent to the circle, and it should be almost equal to length of pi d, almost equal to length of pi d. ओके, अगर ज्यादा भी हो गया तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. फर्क क्यों नहीं पड़ता है? ये ज्यादा हो गया लाइन, लेंथ इज मोर, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. कम हो गया तो एक्सटेंड कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज नो नेक्स्ट थिंग व्हाट विल वी डू? वी विल टेक रेडियस इन कंपास. अभी यहाँ पर गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. Some of the compass will not be able to accommodate this much distance. इतना distance compass में किसी के आएगा नहीं. Depending on which type of compass you are using. If it is a small compass, तो इतना distance तो आएगा ही नहीं. Then some points you may not be able to mark. So what will you do? You will take distance into compass. Now how much distance you will take? No, see, first this point is here at the end of the line. Now this circle is rolling on the line. So next time point 1 is touching this 1 dash, 1 is touching 1 dash, 1 is touching 1 dash. तो कितना distance लेंगे? P से 1 dash. So you can see here radius is equal to P to 1 dash. P to 1 dash. Keep it on one. Keep it on one leg of compass and draw an arc here. यहाँ पे एक arc draw करो and you will get a point. So I have not shown arc here now because that is already explained earlier. You will draw an arc and you will mark a point like this. Okay, mark a point like this. Then next, from 2 draw a tangent line. Now 2 means what? This circle has now touched here. The circle has now touched here. It's like this. It's like this. So same thing is replicated here. The circle is here. So how much is the distance left now? P से 2 dash तक. So how much you will take the distance in the compass? P से 2 dash तक. And what is the center? Center is 2. And you will draw an arc here. You will draw an arc here like this. And you will repeat the process. Are you understanding this? Any doubt till this point? So like this. Now again, let me tell you that this is approximate. So you can see this is not exactly 90 degrees. This is not joined properly. So this is approximate. Okay. I have drawn it in paint. So it's not drawn it in this paint and PowerPoint. So it is not exact. But you will have to draw it exactly. Like this, you will get all the 12 points. Again, remember one thing, that in cycloid, the point P was here on the circumference of the circle, whereas in involute, the point P is at the end of the line, Okay. So you will get all these points, and then you join the points and you will get a curve like this. See now, how to join the points. I have used French curve, and by using French curve, I could arrange the French curve in such a way that P1 and P2 are connected to the French curve. So I joined these 3 points. Sometimes it may happen that only 2 points, P and P1 are joined to the French curve. Sometimes P1 and P2, only these 2 points are joined. Sometimes all these 3 points are joined like this. So no, this is not exact. So I am telling you that I have drawn it freehand. So this curve has bent here slightly. So this is not correct. You draw it correctly. So it's not that every time you will get 3 points only at the time. Sometimes you may get only 2 points connected, but you see the connectivity between these 2 points. See this curve and this curve. You can see this is a smooth curve. ऐसा नहीं है. This is not like this. कि ये ऐसे ड्रॉ किया, यहाँ पे आया और फिर यहाँ से ऐसे आया. कि this should be like this. Okay, ऐसा नहीं आया. So this thing should not come. It should be a smooth curve like this. Okay, smooth curve. And finally you will get a curve like this. This is called as involute. So once again I will go through this involute. So for involute we will draw a circle and then draw a horizontal line. The point is at the end of the line. So we will divide the line into 12 equal parts and number the points on the line as 1 dash to 12 dash. Now point P is here. And this circle is rolling on the straight line. So next time one will join one will come at 1 dash, 2 will come at 2 dash, then 3 will come at 3 dash, and so on. Finally, point number 12 will come at 12 dash. Now, in order to draw the involute, what will we do? We will draw lines from every point that is 1 to 12. We will draw lines, and these lines will be tangent to the circle, and the length of this line will be slightly less than the previous line. Slightly less than the previous line. इससे थोड़ा कम. So you would have seen in the last slide कि length कम होते जा रहा है. Then every time this circle is rolling on the straight line or line is rolling on the circle, so what is happening? The distance between point P and the point on the circle where the circle is in contact with the line, it is reducing. Every time the distance is reducing. So what will you do? First the radius is P2 1 dash. Next the radius will be P2 2 dash, P2 3 dash, P2 4 dash, and so on. So radius is reducing every time, and center is changing every time. Now the center is 12, then the center will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. You are doing it like this, and then finally draw a smooth curve. Okay. Now, when I ask you to draw a point, or I have shown you that this points, okay, notice this. So if you draw arc will be drawn like this. Some students may draw like this, जैसे मैंने draw किया है. No, see, this does not look good. This points does not look good. Even though they may be looking good here, but on your paper it will not look good. So don't draw like this. Just show an arc. Just show an arc. Small arc. Just show an small arc. No one is interested in this arc. Okay, everyone is interested to see whether you are getting the smooth curve or not. Okay, so whenever you will draw arc should be light and thin. Arc should be लाइट एंड थिन. सी दो बातें बताया मैंने, लाइट भी और थिन भी. लाइट मतलब हल्के हाथ से ड्रॉ करना है. ओके, एंड थिन मतलब यू अंडरस्टैंड थिक एंड थिन लाइन. So this is how you will draw involute to a circle. Is it clear or any doubt to anyone?
Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
Okay, students, thank you very much. Now to draw tangent and normal to the curve. Suppose you are asked to draw tangent and normal to the curve at this point. Okay, or again this point can be taken as, see this vertical distance like this. At some distance you are asked to draw tangent and normal. Now I am not taking the distance. You are asked to draw tangent and normal to this point. So what you will do, you will join this line to the center like this. Join. So this is now point number 1. Point number 1. This is now point number 2. Then with this as diameter, so somewhere you will get the center now. If this is the diameter 1, 2, somewhere you will get center, and then draw a semicircle like this, a semicircle. So this is step number 3. All these are light lines. All these are light and thin lines. Then whereas this semicircle intersected the circle, this point. So this is, notice this is point number 4. Then from this point number 4, from this point number 4, draw a line like this, like this. This is number 5, and this line is called as normal. So if I want to write normal on this, I will write normal. This is the leader line, and a line perpendicular to this is called as tangent. So where is my cursor gone? It's here. This line is called as now the tangent. So I will write by using leader line that this is tangent. Tangent. I'm repeating the process to draw tangent and normal. You can go through this once. 1 is the point. First I have identified the point where I have to draw tangent and normal. Then I will join that point to the center of the circle. Then I will draw a semicircle with this 1, 2 as the diameter. Then from after I draw the semicircle, this semicircle will intersect this circle, the given circle, at some point. That point I have denoted as number 4. Now that 4 and 1 we will join and draw a line. So that line which is obtained by joining 1 to 4 and extending is called as a normal line, and the line perpendicular to this normal at this point 1 is called as tangent. Okay, hope the things are clear to you. Any doubt you can ask.
Understood.
Okay, students. So quickly I will tell you the another last curve, that is helix, and this will complete our engine curves topic.
हेलो सर.
हाँ, yes.
सर वो पॉइंट आइडेंटिफाई कैसे किया 1 वाला?
हाँ, वो आइडेंटिफाई कैसे किया, तो देयर आर 2 वेज टू आइडेंटिफाई. एक तो क्वेश्चन में डिस्टेंस दिया रहेगा कि बॉटम लाइन से डायरेक्टिंग लाइन से इतना डिस्टेंस पे लो. अगर वैसे दिया है तो लास्ट कर्व साइक्लॉइड में मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया, वैसे नीचे से एक लाइन ड्रॉ करना है उतने डिस्टेंस पे और वहां पे ड्रॉ करना है. अगर कुछ नहीं दिया है, इफ इट इज जस्ट मेंशन दैट ड्रॉ टेंजेंट एंड नॉर्मल टू द कर्व, तो कोई भी एक पॉइंट ले लो और ड्रॉ करो.
ओके सर.
Okay, there is one more thing which I want to tell in this involute. Now see, in this case, sometimes you may get a question that a thread is unwound. A thread is unwound from the circle. Okay, so तुमने वो टॉप खेला होगा, कभी भौरा खेला होगा. आजकल तो बेबलेट खेलते हैं, पहले वो भौरे रहते थे टॉप्स. So if you have ever played with that, what you do is you wound a thread around it and then you unwound it. When you unwound it, the top spins on the floor. So when you unwound it, that curve trace is also an involute. Okay, that is also involute. Okay, so one definition I told you that it's a curve on the end point of the line and line rotates on the rolls on the circle without slipping. And second is it's also the curve which is unwound, which is obtained by the end point of the thread when you unwound it from the circle. Okay, so sometimes you may, so in that case the curve obtained is like this, same. Now यहाँ पर एक और दो क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं एग्जाम में. Based on this, there can be two questions. Which is the one question? One question is the in fact there are three questions. The one is one which is displayed on the screen is one question. Second question can be like this. No, यहाँ पे हमने point P कहाँ पे लिया है? Point P यहाँ पे लिया है, ठीक है? Point P is here. No, it may be given in the question that the point P is not here. Point P is here. Point P is here. यहाँ पे point P. Okay. So what will change? Point P is here. So what will you do? Every time what are we going to do? We are going to take the distance from P to 1 dash and keep it on 1 and draw an arc. Then P to 2 dash, keep it on 2 and draw an arc. ठीक है, ऐसे प्रोसीजर फॉलो किया ना. अब पॉइंट पी यहाँ पर है या फिर यहाँ पर है, कहीं पे भी रहेगा तो भी फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. द प्रोसीजर रिमेन्स द सेम. ठीक है, entirely the same procedure, no difference. There's only one difference in the end, that this curve which you are seeing on the screen is joined to this point. यहाँ पे join हुआ ना, can you see the cursor? यहाँ पे join हुआ. And the curve which I am talking about, where the point P is somewhere at between 9 dash and 10 dash, ये कर्व कहाँ पे ज्वाइन होगा? ये यहाँ पे नहीं ज्वाइन होगा, ये घूम के ऐसे आएगा. सी नो, ये घूम के ऐसे आएगा and it will join between 9 and 10 like this. Did you get this?
Yes, sir. What is it?
Okay, so see here now. What is this? This is pi d, correct? This is pi d. From here to here is pi d. And how much? What is this distance now? This is not pi d. This is not pi d, and this is equal to less than pi d. Now, if suppose pi d is equal to 157, and if I tell you that the point P is at what distance? Point P is at 120 distance, 120 mm. तो 120 mm कहाँ पे आता है? यहाँ पे आ रहा है. So where will you draw the point P? यहाँ पर. इसमें एक और वेरिएशन जो आएगा उसमें ऐसे होगा कि point P is at 170 mm. All these are random values. Okay, ये सब random values लिया है मैंने. So point P is at 170 mm. 170 कहाँ पे आ रहा है? 170 is coming here. Okay, 170 is coming here. So where is point P now? Point P is here. This is the third case. So what will you do? Again the same thing. P से 1 dash distance रखेंगे, 1 पे रखेंगे, and you will cut an arc like this. Then P से 2 dash, 3 dash, 4 dash, you will get an arc like this. So you will draw an arc something like this, which will be like this. So you can see 3 arcs here. How many arcs? 3 arcs. पहला एक आर्क जो नॉर्मल हमने ड्रॉ किया जहाँ पे पॉइंट पी कितना था? 12 डैश पे था. इसका मतलब लेंथ ऑफ द थ्रेड इज इक्वल टू सर्कमफरेंस ऑफ द सर्कल. सेकंड केस हमने देखा जहाँ पे पॉइंट पी कहाँ पर है? इट इज कमिंग समवेयर बिटवीन 9 एंड 10. मतलब लेंथ ऑफ द थ्रेड इज लेस देन द सर्कमफरेंस ऑफ द सर्कल. दैट लेस कितना है? दैट विल बी मेंशन्ड इन द क्वेश्चन. ओके, वहां पे वेयर इज पॉइंट पी कमिंग? पॉइंट पी इज कमिंग बिटवीन 9 डैश एंड 10 डैश, एंड सो द कर्व विल एंड एट समवेयर बिटवीन 9 डैश एंड 9 एंड 10. अभी थर्ड केस है कि पॉइंट पी इज थर्ड केस इज लेंथ ऑफ द थ्रेड इज इक्वल टू more than the circumference of the circle. For example, if the circumference of the circle is 157 and length of thread is specified as 170, मतलब वो पूरा एक वाउंड होके थोड़ा और बाहर आएगा, एक पूरा राउंड हो गया थ्रेड का और थोड़ा और बाहर आ गया, कितना बाहर आ गया 170 minus 157. So where is it? Here. Okay, again the procedure remains the same. This curve will be drawn like this, and then it will join somewhere here. यहाँ पे एक और चीज नोटिस करना है, after 12 dash you have to divide this between this 13 dash 14 dash like this. So how will you obtain this 13 dash and 14 dash point? You take this distance in the compass, any distance, say for 6 to 7. All these distances are equal. Take any distance in compass, and cut an arc. यहाँ पे एक आर्क कट करो, यहाँ पे करो, जितना आर्क होता है उतना कट करो और उसको नंबर दो 13 dash 14 dash and so on, so that this is also divided, Is it clear to all of you? Any doubt in this?
No, sir.
No, sir, clear.
Okay, so I have explained 3 problems in this involute. The first one is length of thread is equal to circumference of the circle. The blue one is the length of thread is less than the circumference of the circle, and the green one is the length of the thread is more than the circumference of the circle. How much more? That distance will be specified in the question. कितना रहेगा तो? So depending on that, you can get 3 types of involute. Also, you will have you can draw involute of square, triangle, rectangle. किसका भी involute draw कर सकते हो. Okay. So you will draw one curve in your class notebook, और ये ऐसे दिखाओ. You draw it like this. Okay. So that in one question only you will draw all the 3 questions. So one will be fair, and other two can be freehand. So this one will be fair, and this you can draw freehand, just for your understanding purpose कि ऐसे भी question आ सकता है exam में. So considering that the things are clear to you and you don't have any doubt, I consider that involute is understood. Now one more curve is left, but I think the time is over now, so I will have to stop. I can see that some of the students joined late. Okay, अभी 38 students यहाँ पे दिख रहे हैं, थोड़ी देर पहले 37 था, अब भी किसी ने तो join किया, and some students are joining at 10, 9:20, 10:20, 10:15, something like that. So don't do like that. Join exactly, or join 5 minutes before